Back with Bobby and JJ Radio. We actually have one of the juggernauts in the real estate industry, Miss Lorie Campos.
Oh, they're talking about me.
Oh no, Bob's sitting right next to one of the juggernauts of the real estate industry, Miss Lorie Campos. She's with the Lux Agency. I want to say thank you for hanging out with us today. And hey, so Lorie is well known for, in my opinion,
if you've done anything downtown,
you have a
really high chance of running into her.
Not just downtown. I think she was in Dignity, depending on tomatoes or tomatoes, before everyone else.
Right.
I remember we had a conversation almost a decade ago, and it was Southtown. You knew, like, somehow you had a premonition. I want to talk about, what was it, a dream? Or you Nostradamus? Was it?
Yeah.
You woke up in the middle of the night with, what was it? But you saw the downtown scene, uptown scene, Tobin Hill scene coming way before everyone else. Talk about that and the journey of you getting into real estate a little bit.
Well, I think it's a little. I mean, I'm not from San Antonio, and so when you're not from a city, you kind of see things differently.
Sure.
And so I've never been scared of areas.
Sure.
So, like Cevallos.
Right.
You and I remember when it used to be scary, and that's where my office was. So I was like, before we were at the same brokerage, way back when. That was kind of my first
like flirting
place in San Antonio. I was first in King William.
Right.
And then I moved on Cevallos, and that was like just scary.
Yeah.
Nobody was there. Nobody could see anything. But I connected with a commercial broker, and I could already see things happening. So NRP, who developed Cevallos Lofts, like they were moving in. So I was around during that deal.
Right.
And then I connected even prior to that with a condo developer from Houston.
Sure.
And we started doing South End Lofts, which was kind of like the first, it was
Bobby
like
owns
60 plus. Oh,
that's right. I have one of those. And it's your fault. It's your fault.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is my fault.
Yeah.
And then
you did Judson
Candy Factory right after that. So I was doing that, and that was before there were
anything.
High-rise apartments. There was nothing.
There was nothing. I remember when Bob bought in 2010, maybe, I don't know. I didn't want to park my car. I was like, I don't want to go to your place, dude. Salvation Army, Pro Band, railroad tracks. I'm like, what is Lorie Campos doing?
Oh yeah, there was an empty shell of a building. With
yes, that was and like when we did Judson Candy Factory, so we did South and Lost, and that was going really well. And then this developer decided to purchase Judson Candy Factory, and like we went for the tour, and there was like people living in it. It was scary.
Yeah.
But,
was it Bobby? Was he in there?
No, he was still.
He borrowed a drum, and he never returned it.
Right.
So I assume that was his fireplace.
It would get cold, and that's how it stayed warm.
Yeah.
So you see NRP, you see a developer from Houston, and then you kind of rep Terramark all over the place too, right?
So they came around, I guess it was like 2013. They came to town, and they like Houston is just kind of getting overbuilt and expensive, and so they came into and I sold them their first piece on Cevallos, and they're like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yes, just do it." It was like $70,000. I remember the piece, and they couldn't get any construction financing on it. Nobody wanted to do it. Everybody.
So you just funded it yourself.
Yeah.
You got it.
No, they ended up getting a bank, but it took. It was like, oh, it's too close to the railroad tracks. And I'm like, well, I've sold condos on a railroad track.
Right.
And then, we got that off the ground. And then ever since then, it's just been project after
that turned that whole like little section around, didn't it?
Yeah, that was the first one. And then we did another one with another, Terramark acted as the contractor for another developer who did, I think, 12 units.
Right.
Down the street.
They also did St. Benedict. Like, you've done everything downtown. So you kind of see what's going to happen coming up, right? You kind of see stuff that we don't. Yeah.
Dreams.
No, so
Dreams.
you're kind of tied to people that are doing a lot of development. So what do you see happening in the next 5 years
what's
or
on
so?
the horizon?
This is nothing. Like, I feel no. Well,
and break. No,
well, no. I mean, this is and I've met with Councilwoman Gonzalez, and everybody talks about the West Side, and now this whole UTSA expansion should be great for the West Side, but it's really, really hard to find land.
Yeah, so we're landlocked a little bit.
And like land that sold maybe 2 years ago for $7 a square foot is now like $30 a square foot, and you can't. My developers can't make that work right now in those areas.
Not to mention the cost to build downtown, because everything, CPS and
saws.
Absolutely.
And the incentives have pretty much gone away.
Right.
And so it's very difficult. And so now.
You think it's going south or east or?
Well, it's going to go vertical.
Okay.
So prices are going up in land, and so developers need to go vertical to make their numbers work, which would mean hopefully more condos type, vertical flats that would go up. And then south, Brooks City Base has a lot of plans.
Right.
And
to have
really
its own
excited.
Zip code of stuff.
Absolutely.
For the most part.
Yeah. So there's a lot of discussion down there, and then kind of going up from there, I think. But I have nothing right now.
Yeah.
Really like big kind of like 20 plus. There's nothing.
Right. It's just not enough land. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when it happens, you're going to be the first to know.
I hope so.
I know you will. If anyone's looking in the downtown or right east of downtown or south or pretty much anywhere in San Antonio, please contact Ms. Lorie Campos. She's with the Lux Realty. You can check them out at luxagencysa.com and call them at 210-212-6900. Again, that's 212-6900.